Only a side like France, despite so many injury backouts, they still continue like nothing happened with the depth that they have. Great working players that fight for each other. Even Dembele and Griez defending well back there and snatching balls. They have world-class Mbappe up front, bullet train ready at any given time to outrun or assist or score. Really good team, still one of the favorites to win it. Um, and I think Griezmann is essentially he's playing as a midfielder and he's been great at helping them win battles in that area of the field. Plus Rabiot is in the form of his life. I thought he dropped off a little bit today. He wasn't as great as he was in the Australia match. Chouameni is great, and he fits the dual pivot role along with Rabiot quite well, with Camavinga coming on as a great impact sub. But it is definitely a question as to whether they can keep up with the best teams in midfield, especially since Rabiot is not a top player. Griezmann isn't really a midfielder, and Chouameni has looked a little bit off at times. And I think the lack of a true world-class number six like Conte could very well end up being very problematic against teams with better attacking prowess. Now, France has conceded twice so far. They have not been able to keep clean sheets. That's something that other better teams in the tournament are going to be keeping an eye on. Having said that, the depth, again, is unmatched across any team in the world except maybe Brazil. I struggle to see very many backlines in the tournament that are capable of shutting down Mbappe. And it's going to be a true test to see if this French side can go on and repeat despite having somewhat of a depleted squad. Griezmann has still yet to find the back of the net in this tournament, but he could very well come into his own in all due time. I like that he's reinventing himself in that midfield role. It's very like sort of Modric-esque. Chouameni had a 98.5% pass completion rate too. And like I said earlier, Rabiot, not a great game, but he has good moments. If he had scored that bicycle kick that France had, that would have been the highlight of the game, really. That really, truly would have been something else. A bit of a frustrating physical game, but you do just enough to get the win and move on. Great assists today by Theo Hernandez and Antoine Griezmann. Mbappe getting a brace here, especially that second goal with that right-footed shot, very close range to the bottom left-hand corner. I think Schmeichel didn't have a prayer's chance of stopping that, to be honest. For Denmark, I think Hjulmand is a lot to blame for this match. I think you see Lindstrom is not well integrated into the team, yet he's still the best player today. Denmark's goal is because of him. To start Cornelius in a World Cup is a bit questionable. He's sort of dipped in form ever since the Nations League earlier this year. He's been injured for a little bit of a while now, and I question whether he's fully fit to play. Exchange Damsgaard and Lindstrom when Denmark is chasing a goal, I don't think it's very smart. It's also sort of the wrong formation, and I think Christian Eriksen is being left out in an awkward place on the pitch. He's being sort of wasted. I think maybe for the next game, Denmark, since it's do or die for them against Australia, maybe Ba should get a chance and Mela should not start. But the thing is, the Dolberg sub was no good. But there's not much that you can do if Damsgaard is gassed and can't last that much longer. Fitness is a real issue with Damsgaard. And the Norsgaard sub was correct. I'll give that to Kasper Hjulmand. It's the correct choice if not for France scoring immediately after. There was no way that Denmark was finding a second goal and trying to defend the 1-1 was correct. Or rather, pardon me, there was no way that it didn't look like they were finding the second goal. Even though they did have opportunities, I wonder if the smarter choice would have been to try to defend like the 1-1. Even though Denmark did go for it. After they equalized, they did look threatening going forward. There was an outside chance of them grabbing a late win here. But I think where Hjulmand really deserves blame is continuing to start Mela. I mean, he's been ineffective offensively for the last 10 or so games for them, and he's had a massive liability. He's been a massive defensive liability. And I don't know if he's good enough to be in a starting position for the next match. Um, like I said, you look at someone like Bob placing, or maybe Skov can come in there. And also for Kasper Hjulmand, I don't know if this 3-4-3 is working for Denmark. It looked very disjointed and jumbly today. At times, they did not look very good in possession every single time that they played it. So, yeah, they're going to have to do something quick because the next match is a must-win against Australia. France have officially advanced to the round of 16. They're the first team in the tournament to book their ticket. They've officially broke the World Cup winner's curse. Congratulations. Can they go on to win the whole thing for a third time? I'm still doubtful, though.